We are in 2024, and in my opinion, the content strategy in LinkedIn needs a total revamp. I'm going to explain in this video how I created a following base of over 85,000 marketers and founders across the entire globe. If you want to build a community or an audience, you need to have a specific topic and a specific strategy to talk about this topic. You need to create fresh and unique content that is different from other creators, and you also need a distribution strategy, like what to post, when to post it, and how do you engage with others on the platform. Overall, it's a set of questions that create your distribution strategy. And in this video, I'm also going to explain how I created my content strategy on LinkedIn and the framework that I actually used. But first, I will give you a bit of context about the current content framework that most people use and that, in my opinion, is not pragmatic enough. So as you can see on this slide, the current framework is called TOFU, MOFU, BOFU. It stands for top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. Basically, what it says is that you should start by top of funnel content, which is mainly about your stories, that is about inspiration, like things that can be relatable for anyone on the platform. Then you have the middle of funnel content, which is content that will talk about your industry, your expertise at kind of a broad level. And then the last type of content is bottom of funnel, which is basically content that is here to sell. So the core principle of this framework is really simple. First, you attract a lot of people in your audience and network with stories, with broad content. Second, you refine your audience by building authority and creating more specific content related to your expertise. And third, you sell with precise content, solving a specific pain or problem. All right, so that's the current framework that most people use on every social channels, including LinkedIn. And I'm going to tell you why I think it's not the best one. First reason, if you have a B2B business that it's specific and niche, you don't need to attract broad audiences because they might be not interested by what you are selling. Second reason is if you're building a following base with only people that are not really interested about your expertise, when you will post specific and offer content, the people in your network will not engage with it because they are not interested, and overall the content will plunge. So third reason, it's related. If you build a following base of people that are not interested by your expertise content, you will get addicted to the broad content, like the broad top of funnel content, because it will be the only way for you to get likes and engagements. And fourth reason, LinkedIn right now, in my opinion, is prioritizing expert content rather than personal stories. So this was the current framework for content creation and the 4 reasons why I think it's not the best one right now. Now I'm going to explain my framework that I've been using for the past 2 years and that is pretty effective in my opinion. As you can see on this slide, the framework doesn't look that different, but the mindset behind it is very different. So it's called the authority first framework. Basically, we will lead our content with expertise rather than with personal stories and top of funnel content. So everything starts from industry content. Basically, 70% of what you are posting on the social channels will be about your expertise, your industry, and your specific skills. Here you have to shift your focus from growing an audience to sharing useful insights to increase your authority in your industry. So publish 70% about your expertise, your opinion on the industry, some analysis, trends, how-tos, or infographic that describe a specific problem in your industry. Here, what is important is that you don't copy your competitors. All the insights that you are sharing come from your experimentation, come from your experience or expertise. So it's the only way to create unique and fresh content that cannot be seen on other platforms or from other creators. Because you know what? Nobody wants to read content that come from generic sources like Gen AI, and that is overall a commodity. So that's the first part of the authority first framework. Publish 70% of industry-related content that will build and increase your authority. The second type of content that you need to share is personal stories that are related to your industry expertise or your career and entrepreneur journey. Here is different from the first framework because you are not leading with broad personal content, you are leading with authority, but then when your authority is kind of settled and increasing, you can also talk about yourself or about your company. So talk about your personal brand or your brand. Why? Because at the end of the day, people buy from people. So if you incarnate your content, it will be easier for you to sell. To give you an example, I started publishing personal stories to incarnate my content after building authority, and I saw an uplift in inbound leads and closing rates thanks to this type of content. So this should represent 15% of your content, and you should publish about how you got where you are now with stories and opinions. You can also share behind the scenes, like what happened behind the screen, like how you normally work, what you do when you are not working, so personal stories. You can also do build in public, so showing how you are creating your company or how you are building your career and giving updates like on a weekly or monthly basis. And you can also share personal opinions on life topics that will show that you have a strong personality and that it will be interesting to work with you. The goal here is to connect with potential buyers and also with your audience. Showing your personality puts you by definition in a monopoly state because there is only one you with your personal stories, your opinions, and your expertise in the market. All right, so that's the second type of content, personal content. It should represent around 15% of your content that you publish on social channels. I'm going now to talk about the third type of content, but first, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe. This is the first time I do that. Like the video, subscribe, and like what the other creators said on YouTube. So the third type of content, we can call it conversion content or offer content. Here it's really simple. It's the way to transform all this authority and awareness and impressions into prospects and revenue pipeline. So the goal here is to either sell your offer directly or to lead to a content upgrade or to lead to a call or a demo with your target audience. So the very first thing obviously is that you need to set up your profile on the social channel. It needs to be really clear what you are offering. So your offer needs to be clear, consistent, coherent, easy to understand, and has obviously a high perceived value. When this type of profile is properly set up, your offer content will have better conversion rates. So the first thing you need to do when you are creating this type of content is choosing the objective of the piece of content. Do you want more newsletter subscribers? Do you want more product users? Do you want more free trials? Do you want more sales calls? Do you want more discovery calls? Do you want more coaching clients? You see, you have to define the objective every time you do this type of content. Then the goal here is to be granular in the way you help your clients. So what is their problem? Explain it, agitate this problem, and then give your solution. This is the PAS framework, problem, agitate, solution. It's really useful for this kind of content because your target audience will feel concerned and they will feel that you have a solution for them that they are ready to buy. Once again, here, if your offer is a commodity and you are sharing the same thing as everyone, like we will boost your revenue, you will not get a lot of conversions because no one wants commodities, especially online. My piece of advice, if you are evolving in a red ocean with a lot of competitors, you should have a strong positioning in order to be different, in order to have a unique and fresh vision on the market. So if you feel that it's not the case yet, before actually creating this type of offer content, you should build a strong offer with a strong positioning and a strong messaging. And for this type of offer content, it should be around 15% of your content plan. So overall, if I summarize, here is what you should do if you want to use the authority first framework. First, you should create authority content, like 70% of your content should be about your expertise, industry, and specific skills. You can share opinions on the market, your point of view, but also trends, analysis, and so on. The second type of content should be more personal content that will help you to incarnate your brand or your personal brand. So share personal stories behind the scenes or build in public. So this should be 15% of your content plan. And the third one is offer or conversion content that will help you to actually sell or to achieve other objectives, such as getting more subscribers on your newsletter or getting more sales calls. Here you should talk about the problem of your client and offer a solution with different angles. And also don't forget to have a strong offer and a strong profile in order to increase the conversion rates of this type of content. This should represent 15% of your total content plan. So 70% for authority content, 15% for personal stories, and 15% for offer content. Before this video ends, let me tell you first that this is not the best framework if you want to first grow a very broad following very fast, and followers count is the only thing that matters to you. Second, you don't really want to be perceived as an expert. What you want is to have a strong broad presence on social media. And third, if you don't have anything to sell, it might not be the best framework, because all the principle of this framework is to build a revenue channel with social media. That was my authority first framework. I think it's a very good strategy for you to put in place right now in order to leverage different social channels such as LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. It's also a good way to start your content strategy. And if you want to go further on the content strategy, you can download my guide that will give you the 4 core principles of a good content strategy, and then you will be able to build a strong ecosystem for your brand. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.